Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Ooh, thought we would talk about some deep conspiracy stuff today. Maybe answer some questions. If nothing else, just give you some of my opinions. For those of you that tried to watch our live stream last night and it got cut off, that was me. Had some issues, technical difficulties with my camera so that we could do the live stream. Couldn't get it to work. Took quite a while for me to make things happen. Somehow the driver files were lost, corrupted, something. And my computer was just not playing around. It was being very difficult. Took quite a while. Finally got it working where it would accept my camera, but it was kind of late by then. I don't know what the deal is every time I turn the computer on, I have to have it to reconnect, and it's not recognizing the camera. I don't know. I'm not technical savvy enough to figure out what's going on, but last night it wouldn't work. So I apologize for no live stream last night. Getting everyone all excited that we were going to be on there, and then couldn't get anything to work. Wanted to talk about something that I get the question quite often, especially in the comments. I don't think it's all trolls. I think there's some legitimate people that are maybe a little newer to the game, and they're just not 100% sure what really is going on. And usually the question is who are they? I keep saying they, these people that are trying to rule the world, who are they? Who are they? And, well, I mean, I can't give you names and addresses and detailed specifics because I just don't have that kind of knowledge and information. I can give you some of my opinion on that. And while it is just opinion, there's a lot of people out there, if you start digging, that have spent a lifetime working on this kind of stuff that would say pretty much the same thing that I'm going to tell you. I can tell you this. I don't believe the they that are ruling everything and that's making the decisions on everything that you've seen happen over the last few years. I don't believe it's a political party, or really pretty much anyone within a political party. I mean, there may be a few people that are kind of pulling strings, but for the most part, globally, and this isn't just the United States, I think this is everywhere. I think most politicians, they're just pawns too. They're not at the top of the food chain that we might think that they are. They're just puppets that are doing their bidding. You know, someone is telling them what to do, whether directly or indirectly. And it's to give us this appearance that there's one side or the other. And I'm not pointing my fingers just at Democrats. I'm saying all of them. And this has been going on a long time, way longer than the health crisis. That the politicians are they're just players in this big old game. Could it be people that are at the head of like BlackRock and the head of the World Economic Forum? Possibly, yeah. They're definitely higher up in the food chain, but I suspect, while I may not have direct evidence of this, I suspect that people that are really pulling the strings, the ones that are really in charge, are at a level that you and I don't even really know about. Like, we don't even have a clue who they are. They're not a front person at all. They're not listed on any Forbes 500 or anything like that. They're people that are even above people like Klaus Schwab and the BlackRock guy and Vanguard guy and stuff like that. These people that rule the world, or that are attempting to, It's much bigger than the United States. Although I definitely believe that the United States is very, very much central and key to all of this global domination. But it has to be someone bigger than just one government, because it's everywhere. The things that are happening, they're everywhere. This, whatever you want to call it, deep state, cabal, whatever it is, black hat, white hat. These people have been around for a very, very long time. And they work behind the scenes. They work above the level of government and above the level of the law. And they are pretty much, kind of looking at government and business and commerce and international affairs as just a big chessboard for themselves. And they do things outside of this world. I mean, it's almost like and I'm not saying it is, so don't say, oh man, he's been eating some of them mushrooms again. No, it's almost like they work almost in a separate dimension, not literally, just they work outside of the system, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know exactly who they are. It could be Freemasons. I mean, they're global. Jesuits, they're global. There's a few other types of groups of kind of secret societies and closed off. But again, I suspect the ones that are really pulling the strings, they probably are at a level above all that. The really ones at the top. This is kind of the fight that we're against. This has been going on a long, long time. And this is why it's, folks like myself and a few others will say that I'm just not really convinced that politics is going to change things. Because it's not just an American thing, it's a global thing. You see all of these politicians and stuff at a global stage talking about, a great reset. They're all saying the same thing. They're all doing the same thing. They're all in line. And at some point you start to figure out that it would be nearly impossible for one person to change anything. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm not saying that someone like a Trump or a DeSantis could get in and make some real changes and turn things around. But we did have 4 years of that, and I know this is going to hurt a lot of feelings, but I don't know that we saw a whole lot of deep change, at least on the level that it needs to happen. I just think it's above all of that. And I also think that this is very much biblical. So I keep getting people ask, that right there, it's a bottle. Someone stuck a bottle on a tree. This isn't my property. My property borders this, but this is national forest. But everyone's always asking, what's that? And I know I could take it and throw it in the trash. Probably should. It's just kind of interesting that someone stuck a blue bottle there. Anyways, where was I? Conspiracy theories, that's right. Gotta put my tinfoil hat back on. These people are the ones that are above it all. They don't answer to laws. They have so much power and money that, they could do anything. People wonder why it costs so much to get something done in government. Well, it doesn't cost so much. It costs a certain amount, and the rest of it that's put on paper gets funneled to these organizations, to these people. And they have allegiances and loyalties all over. There's people in our own military, whether they be at the bottom of the line, soldiers all the way up to generals and admirals that are really working for them. People in all different areas of government around the world. And sometimes they consciously know they are, and sometimes they don't know that they are. Either way, they're working for them. And this is the battle that we're up against. These people that are really controlling everything. And they dictate to these businesses, these corporations, what they can and can't do. Banks, what they can and can't do. Universities, what they teach. All of it. And when you start to look at it that way, it's very easy to say, oh my goodness, that's just more than we can handle. That's more than we can fight against. And maybe that's true, I don't know. But either way, we have to be self-sufficient as much as possible. We have to not be dependent on them. Because that's what they've done. That's kind of the first real thing they've done. They've suppressed technology and advancement. And they've suppressed knowledge. Not just advanced knowledge, but also primitive knowledge. They've suppressed the ability for people to be self-sufficient. No one knows how. We don't have the technology that could exist to help us have our own energy and be modern, but on our own. And they've suppressed the primitive knowledge that would allow us to be, primitive self-sufficient on our own. Because so many people have lost that. They don't know how to do anything. All they know is how to be plugged into the system, into the matrix, and do whatever they're told. And as long as they have their little devices in their hands, then they're pretty much content. That's about the extent of what most people's knowledge are. They trust whatever the experts say, whatever some statistic gets thrown out. Oh, well, that's the way it is. Must be a racist society because CNN said this statistic and blah, blah, blah. Well, we gotta put our little diapers on our face because the experts are saying it's dangerous and that's gonna be what works. And no one has enough mental power anymore, it seems like, or at least a lot. I shouldn't say no one, because obviously a lot of you, but a lot of people, they don't have enough mental fortitude and intelligence to say, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is like not even logical. I know how to do things on my own. I know how to take care of myself. I don't need them telling me what to do. I don't need to listen to their statistics and to their propaganda. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I don't see it around me and all the people that I know, so I'm just not going to listen to it. No, people end up buying into it hook, line, and sinker because they're told to, and they're not smart enough to figure it out on their own. This whole system has been building for a very long time. It's why we have the public education system that we have. That's absolutely dumbing people down, dumber and dumber. I mean, it was that way when I was a kid. It's so much more so now than it ever was. That's why we have the entertainment industry, give them bread and circuses, keep them occupied with sports and frivolous TV shows and entertainment. It dumbs them down, divides them up, and makes them so gullible to whatever people in charge say. There's all types of government organizations and programs and stuff that have worked feverishly over the last several decades in the media, whether it be in Hollywood entertainment media or the news media, to control what you think and what you do. This is the they. They're way up there, folks. Like I said, in my opinion, they're even higher. The ones that are really, 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 really making the decisions. They're higher than the Klaus Schwabs and the Bill Gates and the George Soros. I don't think they're at the top of the food chain at all. They're higher up than you and I, but they're not top of the food chain. And these secret societies, they're global. They have to be, because this stuff is being done global. You can't just say, well, it's the FBI that's doing it. It's the CIA that's doing it. Well, I mean, they can do their little ops in other countries, but it has to be really something global that can control all this. And that's why while there may be a lot of it coming from the United States, maybe it even originated here. It's not just about the US. It's about the whole world. We see it everywhere. United Kingdom, Australia, Japan, all over. Europe, China, they're all involved. Who knows, maybe even Russia. And that's why when I see stuff, it's not just about that particular event. It's not just about a train derailment in Ohio, and there was another one yesterday. I don't think anything chemical came from it, but there was another train derailment. So when I see that, it's not just about the initial knee-jerk reaction of this is bad, and the initial catastrophe of chemicals. There's more to it than that. There's more to the orchestration of the event and to the reaction of the event. And that's what these people are doing. They're like gigantic think tanks sitting around trying to figure out ways to manipulate us. And it's all about the power. I've said this for so long. They have money. They have more money than the queen. It's not about money necessarily. It's about the power to control you, to dictate to you. That's why they're wanting to control your thoughts, get inside your head, take your soul, get inside that. They want that. They can control your physical body. They have for centuries. This human farming thing has been going on for a very long time. I mean, going all the way back to Egyptian time. They've controlled us. Slavery never ended, it just expanded. But now they want to control your mind. And they want to own your soul. And that's what all this is really building to. And so that's why it's more than just money or politics or the bad stuff on TV that causes me to separate myself from it, to live outside of it. It's because they want your mind and your soul. They want in the very immaculate DNA, maybe, divine DNA that was given to us in the image of the Father. They want that. They want to control it and manipulate it. That's who they are, folks. Probably more confused now than ever, aren't you? Well, that's why we got to keep doing what we're doing. That's why we got to keep fighting back on every level. And right now, I think the smartest thing, even if you're doing things on the front lines, politically, activism, things like that, still need to be setting up your backup plan, your contingency plan. And that means to disconnect from it all and bug out and bug in. Because it's time to get your houses in order, folks. It's time to prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.